At 4:07 a.m. on September 22, 2018, an experienced long-haul trucker named Darren Cole made a chilling final CB transmission from Highway 93 near the Nevada-Arizona border. "Something's in the back. I didn't load that." Less than 20 minutes later, his rig was discovered parked on the shoulder. Engine running, lights on, trailer sealed. Darren was gone. Inside the trailer, investigators found 6 pallets of shrink-wrapped machine parts and something else. Something that was never on the manifest. A crate with no label, no serial, and no contents. Darren Cole, 52, had driven for Desert Line Freight for almost 17 years. Based out of Reno, Nevada, Darren was a widower with 2 teenage sons. He was known among fellow drivers as Steady DK, a name earned from his meticulous log keeping and strictly on-time deliveries. He drove a 2011 Kenworth T660 with a 53-foot dry van trailer. No major incidents. No health problems. The job was straightforward. Pick up an industrial load from a subcontracted logistics hub in Pahrump and deliver it to a mining supply warehouse in Kingman, Arizona. Distance, 132 miles. Estimated haul time, 3.5 hours. Weather that night was dry, visibility clear, with light traffic reported. At the time of dispatch, the manifest listed 6 skids of mechanical pump components. Total weight, 8,240 pounds. No hazmat, no temperature control needed. Routine route, no red flags. September 21st, 2018, 11:48 p.m. CCTV footage shows Darren checking in at the Pahrump hub, operated by Mojave Transfer Logistics. According to the night manager, Raul Villanueva, Darren conducted a visual walk-around of his trailer, confirmed the load, and secured the doors. Raul later stated in his affidavit, he was in and out, no complaints, no delay. Signed all docs, loaded, sealed. 12:15 a.m., departure from Pahrump. Darren texts his dispatcher, loaded and rolling. See you on the other side. 1:08 a.m., Tonopah Highway gas stop, mile marker 74. Receipts confirm Darren stopped for coffee and a fill-up. Clerk Melinda Torres remembers him asking, "Is it just me or is it colder than usual tonight?" Weather reports indicate outside temperatures had dropped to 52 degrees Fahrenheit, slightly below average but not abnormal. 2:13 a.m., unscheduled stop, dirt turnout near Alamo Road. GPS ping from Darren's ELD, electronic logging device, shows a 7-minute stationary period at a turnout rarely used by semis. No explanation logged. No rest or meal break noted. 3:27 a.m., CB recording captured by nearby driver, handle deadbolt. Darren is heard on channel 19 saying, "Getting weird sounds in the box. Something sliding around. But I strapped the load tight. Nothing should be moving." 3:49 a.m., second ELD pause, 2.1 miles from Hoover Dam Overlook. Another brief stop, 4 minutes. No hazards called in. No known issues reported. 4:07 a.m., final CB call. "Something's in the back. I didn't load that." No further transmissions. Signal went dead seconds later. 4:22 a.m., discovery of truck. Tourist motorists reported a tractor-trailer idling on the shoulder just past mile marker 206. CHP arrived at 4:48 a.m. Darren's Kenworth was locked. Headlights on. Trailer sealed. Engine warm. No sign of driver. Initial response. The truck was impounded and brought to a state inspection facility in Henderson, Nevada. Trailer seal was intact. Serial number matched departure logs. Upon opening the doors, investigators noted 6 skids exactly as logged, shrink-wrapped and barcode tagged. But an additional, unmarked wooden crate was discovered wedged near the left rear corner. 3 feet by 4 feet roughly built. No packing labels. No nails or screws. The lid sat flush but could not be removed by hand. Detective Simon Caldwell of the Nevada Highway Patrol later wrote, "The crate looked aged. Splinters along the edges. Dull red smears on 2 sides. No blood was confirmed, but traces of animal tissue were found, species undetermined." The crate was transported to a forensic unit in Reno. Family interview and dispatch logs. According to Darren's son, Milo Cole, his father had mentioned something off about the pickup in Pahrump. He said it was weird. The warehouse guy wasn't wearing a uniform. and there was this smell in the air, like metal and ammonia. Desert Line's dispatcher logs confirmed the BOL listed only 6 pallets. No mention of a 7th crate. Mojave Transfer Logistics denied adding any unmanifested freight. Their internal security footage, requested by investigators, had been overwritten by the time the request was filed, standard 72-hour loop. Forensic analysis of the crate. When Reno's forensics team opened the crate, it was empty. Inside, the wood was stained and scratched. A thin nylon strap was bolted into one side, as if to secure something upright. No residue. No fingerprints. Temperature sensors revealed the inside of the crate had maintained an internal cold of 42 degrees Fahrenheit, despite ambient conditions in the 70s. Investigators could not explain this. Strange photo surfaces. 3 days after the discovery, a photo was sent anonymously to Nevada DOT's general inbox. The image showed Darren's truck parked at the Alamo turnout. In the foreground, partially blurred, was a hunched silhouette near the back of the trailer. Scale analysis later suggested the figure was approximately 6 feet 5 inches, wearing no visible clothing or gear. The photo's metadata indicated it was taken 26 minutes before Darren's last CB call. The sender was never identified. The email address was a temporary domain that expired hours later. Other sightings: 2 truckers, Lyle Denton, Chisel, and Sherry Martin, Queen Bee, reported separate but similar encounters within 2 weeks of Darren's disappearance. Both claimed to have found unmanifested crates in their trailers, loaded at Mojave Transfer. Both crates were empty, cold to the touch, and disappeared by the time of delivery. "I never even opened it," Martin told NHP investigators. "But when I hit Kingman, it was gone. No sign it was ever there. No damage, no seal breach. Just gone." NHP did not pursue charges due to lack of physical evidence. Closure of Mojave Transfer Logistics. By late October 2018, Mojave Transfer announced a temporary shutdown. An internal review cited manifest discrepancies and employee absences. The company's Pahrump facility was sold in January 2019. Despite 6 months of active investigation, Darren Cole was never located. No remains, no ransom, no activity on bank accounts or devices. The case remains open under Nevada State Missing Persons File #NV 3140922. The trucking community held several radio tributes in Darren's honor. His Kenworth was auctioned in spring 2020, with proceeds donated to his sons. The trailer was scrapped after multiple drivers refused to haul with it, citing strange occurrences, including unexplained cold spots and GPS glitches. In May 2019, an amateur ham radio operator in Utah picked up a faint CB transmission on Channel 19 during a thunderstorm. The voice, heavily distorted, repeated a short phrase 3 times. "Something's still in the back, it's still here." Weather conditions made trace impossible. No other recordings exist. The crate, now labeled Object NV74, was stored at a federal evidence facility in Sparks, Nevada. But in July 2021, during an internal audit, the crate was found missing. The only record was a line in the logbook. Item returned to sender. Logged off manifest. No signature. No ID. Surveillance footage from that day showed no tampering. To this day, truckers on Highway 93 warn newcomers not to pull over near the Alamo turnout. They say if your trailer feels heavier than it should, especially if it starts to run cold, don't check the back. Don't open the doors, because sometimes the cargo that was never logged never really leaves. Before we proceed, please let us know where you're from. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel and be a part of our small community. Let's continue. At 2:13 a.m. on October 14, 2017, veteran trucker Gary Helms made his final CB transmission. A short, garbled call punctuated by the words "blocked road" and "no lights." 34 minutes later, rig number 908, an 18-wheeler hauling refrigerated meat, vanished without a trace along a desolate stretch of U.S. Route 191, near an isolated patch of road infamously dubbed Devil's Pass. What searchers later found was far stranger than an abandoned truck: a smear of brake marks ending mid-lane, a torn driver's logbook fluttering in the wind, and one Polaroid photo tucked into the cab. showing headlights in the rearview mirror, but no visible vehicle. Gary Helms was 52 years old, a seasoned long-haul driver with over 2 decades of experience behind the wheel. Based out of Amarillo, Texas, Gary had spent most of his adult life on America's highways, known among fellow drivers by his CB-handled Dust Dog. He was meticulous, an old-school driver who kept handwritten logbooks even after digital ELDs became the industry standard. On October 10, 2017, Gary accepted a refrigerated cargo haul from Billings, Montana to Flagstaff, Arizona, driving a 2013 Freightliner Cascadia, unit number 908, an aging but well-maintained rig. The route would take him down US 191, cutting through some of the most isolated desert terrain in Utah before reconnecting with I-40. His wife, Sheila Helms, later told investigators, Gary hated the 191, called it the loneliest stretch in the Southwest. But it was direct, and he was behind schedule. That week, the weather was clear. Road conditions were dry. Night temperatures dipped into the high 30s, and moonlight on the desert asphalt was almost surreal. Sharp shadows, deep silence, and not a single light pole for miles. October 13, 2017. 8:47 p.m., Crescent Gulch Rest Stop, UT. Gary logged a 23-minute stop at the Crescent Gulch Rest Area, a remote pull-off 72 miles north of Devil's Pass. Surveillance footage later confirmed his presence. Gary refueled, used the vending machine, and exchanged a few words with a fellow driver, Thomas "Red" Kessler, who was heading northbound. He looked tired, but not off, said Kessler. Mentioned the night run was messing with his eyes, something about headlights behind him flashing weird. 10:16 p.m., mile marker 317, US 191 southbound. A way station camera pinged rig number 908 at standard cruising speed, no anomalies noted. 12:04 a.m., CB transmission recorded. Several drivers picked up an unusual signal on channel 19. It was Gary. Dust Dog, this is 908. Anyone copy? Got a four-wheeler on my ass. No lights. Keeps backing off then closing in. Drivers assumed it was a local joyrider or a pickup with busted headlights, common in that area. 12:59 a.m., last confirmed sighting. A road construction worker, Jeremy Collins, reported seeing a semi-truck pulled halfway onto the shoulder near mile marker 248. Wasn't blocking the road, but it was odd. No hazards on, cab was dark. Figured the driver was sleeping it off. 2:13 a.m., final transmission. Blocked road, no lights, they're not. The signal cuts mid-sentence. Multiple truckers driving nearby later said the audio was crackly, as if distorted. It didn't sound like static, said Marla Diaz, a driver who caught the tail end. It sounded like someone pulling away from the mic, or being pulled. 3:05 a.m., law enforcement alerted. Sheila Helms, having not received Gary's usual nightly check-in, attempted contact. After repeated failures, she called dispatch. Local law enforcement was alerted, and began a slow sweep starting at mile 248. October 14th, 5:42 a.m., rig missing. A state trooper reached the site, where rig number 908 had last been seen by Collins. There was no truck. Search begins. By sunrise on October 14th, Utah state troopers launched a ground and aerial search over a 50-mile radius. No tire tracks led away from the shoulder. No skid marks, no oil stains, no broken glass. It was as if the truck had simply dematerialized. Then came the first discovery. October 14th, 1:15 p.m., driver's logbook found. Ranger Alan Price located Gary's logbook roughly 30 yards off the road, pages half torn and partially burned. Nearby, a footprint was found, too small to belong to Gary. A barefoot human print, deep in the dust, size unknown, walking away from the highway into open desert. October 15th, cab recovered, 8 miles off-road. Aerial drones spotted something glinting in a ravine near Devil's Pass. Rig number 908, cab jackknifed but mostly intact, sat buried nose first in a dry arroyo. The trailer was missing. The GPS had been ripped out. The only damage to the rig was a shattered windshield, smashed inward, and scratch marks along the driver's side. Investigators found Gary's wallet in the passenger seat. His thermos was unscrewed but full. His phone, switched off, was jammed behind the brake pedal. Inside the cab, Taped to the dashboard with a strip of black electrical tape was a single Polaroid photo. The photo showed the truck's side mirror reflecting a set of headlights. But in the full frame, there was no visible vehicle, just two pinpoint lights hovering midair. On the back was a scrawled note in faded blue ink. "They watch when you stop." October 16th to 20th, further evidence. Tire tracks at the site did not match any known commercial vehicles. Partial fingerprints recovered from the door handles came back as no match in state and federal databases. CB radio had been tuned to channel 24, a rarely used emergency band. Investigators found a recorded message looping on playback, static and a male voice whispering, "Don't follow." October 23rd, anonymous tip. A handwritten note was left in the mailbox of the Moab Police Department. "You won't find him. He's past the wall." DNA tests on the envelope revealed no saliva, no skin cells, not even ambient contamination, completely sterile. Search ends. After 2 weeks, the search was formally called off. No body, no trailer, and no suspects were ever found. Rig number 908 was towed, impounded, and eventually auctioned to a salvage yard in Flagstaff. The case remains open, classified as missing person, endangered. Gary Helm's disappearance became an obsession among the trucking community, particularly in forums like Overnight Hauls and Reddit's r/Truckers Unsolved. Drivers began swapping theories: drug cartel ambush, rogue militia, hallucinations, even extraterrestrials. But nothing stuck. His CB-handled Dust Dog became a kind of code among haulers for unexplained phenomena on the road. Stickers with the phrase "Remember 908" were spotted on bumpers from Texas to Oregon. In late 2018, a new rumor surfaced. A trucker known as Grizzly Pete claimed to have passed a white trailer with matching serials deep in Navajo land. He described it as sun-bleached, wheels missing and humming, like a motor running with no engine. Authorities dismissed the sighting as unsubstantiated. 2020. A former dispatcher for Gary's company came forward anonymously, sharing an old dashcam backup that was never reviewed. At 12:11 a.m., near mile marker 257, it captured taillights in the distance, and, just for a second, what appeared to be a person standing in the middle of the road with their arms outstretched. No face, no vehicle nearby. The footage was turned over to Utah State Police. No public updates have been given since. 2022. The rig's final location was quietly removed from Google Street View. No satellite images of the arroyo, where it was found, currently exist online. 2023. During routine database cross-referencing, a cold case analyst discovered a near-identical report from 1994. Same stretch of road, similar CB signal distortion, and an 18-wheeler found 11 miles off-route with the driver missing. That case, too, remains unsolved. At 4:06 a.m. on February 19, 2021, 39-year-old trucker Marcus Reed made an abrupt and frantic transmission on Channel 19. "There's someone in the road, won't move, no face." Less than 8 minutes later, his GPS signal went dead just south of mile marker 326, along Highway 160 in New Mexico. His rig, a 2016 Kenworth T680 loaded with dry goods, was discovered idling near a cattle fence the next morning. The cab door was open. His boots were still in the driver's seat. Marcus Reed was a long-haul driver based out of Pueblo, Colorado. A divorced father of one, he'd driven for over 14 years without incident. Friends and dispatchers described him as sharp, punctual, and never one to skip procedure. At 6 feet 2 inches and 240 pounds, Marcus was a commanding figure who prioritized route planning and never drove without a paper atlas as backup, even in the digital age. On February 18, 2021, Marcus departed Denver with a shipment of boxed textiles bound for a warehouse in Flagstaff, Arizona. His chosen route followed U.S. Highway 160, cutting through sparsely populated regions of southern Colorado and northern New Mexico. This highway, while efficient, is notoriously remote after midnight. Miles without gas stations, no cellular coverage, and long stretches where truckers rely solely on CB communication. Weather that week was calm but cold. Night temperatures dipped into the low 20s. Visibility was clear. According to his logs and dashcam records, Marcus planned no overnight stops, just a stretch break around Shiprock, then through the night toward Arizona. What followed was an event investigators still can't explain. February 18, 2021, 7:12 p.m., exit from Denver Freight Terminal. Marcus Reed checked out of the Milepost Logistics Depot in Denver with a 28-foot trailer. Digital logs confirm he passed routine pre-checks and was expected to reach Flagstaff by 6:30 a.m. the next morning. 10:44 p.m., fuel stop, Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Security footage shows Marcus fueling up, purchasing 2 energy drinks, and chatting briefly with another trucker, Teresa Vega, who was heading eastbound. He looked alert, mentioned something about the night being weird quiet, but nothing else stuck out, Vega later told state troopers. 1:02 a.m., crossing into New Mexico. Marcus's ELD logs show his rig crossed into New Mexico, near the border checkpoint north of Beclavito. At this point, he was 65 miles from Shiprock and approximately 96 miles from mile marker 326. 2:23 a.m., last CB conversation. Another trucker, Michael Hooper Daniels, confirmed hearing Marcus on Channel 19. He was asking if anyone else was seeing headlights behind them. No vehicle attached, just lights. He laughed it off, but I remember he said, "They're not getting closer, just staying back." 3:37 a.m., brief stop, Shiprock, New Mexico. Marcus pulled into a roadside turnout near Shiprock. Dashcam footage retrieved from a different rig parked at the same location shows his headlights flicker erratically for 17 seconds before stabilizing. Marcus does not exit the truck. 4:06 a.m., final CB transmission. The last known audio transmission from Marcus came on Channel 19. "There's someone in the road, won't move, no face." The audio cuts abruptly after the words, "no face." Another driver, Ron Dietz, heard the message faintly while passing through Farmington, 40 miles east. 4:14 a.m., GPS signal lost. The truck's GPS pings one final location near mile marker 326, an isolated patch of Tulane Highway with no exit ramps or turnouts. The signal ends mid-ping, without deceleration logged. February 19 to 7:11 a.m., truck located. A New Mexico State Police Patrol unit found the Kenworth idling 60 yards off-road, engine still running. No signs of collision. The cab door was open. Marcus was gone. February 19th, on-site initial search. Troopers Daniel Kerr and Lena Pacheco were the first to arrive. They found the rig angled slightly into a cattle fence, front left tire deflated. The interior was pristine. Marcus's boots sat on the floorboard. His phone was wedged between the seat and console, screen cracked, no power. No blood, no wallet, no signs of a struggle. State police launched a full-scale search at 9:15 a.m., involving dogs, drones, and 22 personnel from both state and tribal law enforcement. Helicopter sweeps covered a 10-mile radius. No footprints were located in the surrounding desert, despite the soft red sand and lack of wind activity that morning. February 20th, discovery of dashcam footage. Marcus's dashcam, powered by an internal battery, had continued recording after the engine stopped. Investigators retrieved 11 minutes of glitchy footage from 4:05 a.m. to 4:16 a.m. The most chilling segment occurs at timestamp 4 hours, 8 minutes, and 14 seconds. A figure appears on the highway approximately 20 feet in front of the truck. It remains motionless. The headlights reflect no facial features, just a pale oval where the face should be. The figure then begins to blur, as if smearing across the image, and disappears. Video forensics ruled out fog, lens condensation, or night refraction. Analyst Jenna Morales stated, "The figure disrupts pixels on multiple sensor levels. It isn't a camera defect. It's an actual object or person on the road." February 22nd, unusual radio frequency detected. A CB enthusiast named Jordan Flack reported capturing strange static on Channel 23, normally unused, between 4 to 4:30 a.m. on February 19th. Flack described hearing the phrase, "turn around," on loop under heavy static. It repeated every 19 seconds. Then silence. Then again. "Turn around." Always the same voice. Deep but off. February 23rd, handwriting sample found. During a secondary inspection of the truck's glove box, A torn receipt from a rest stop in Cortez, Colorado, was found. On the back, someone had written in jagged ink, "If you see the lights but no truck, don't stop. Keep going. 326 isn't real." The handwriting was not Marcus's, confirmed by comparison to logs and license signatures. No fingerprints were recovered from the receipt. March 3rd, abandoned trailer located. Over 70 miles south, a farmer near Crown Point, New Mexico, reported an unmarked trailer sitting behind his fence line. It was confirmed to be Marcus's original load, still sealed. The trailer wheels were caked in dust, but showed no signs of terrain damage. The cargo was intact. No tracks led to or from the site. March 12th, case turned cold. Despite over 120 volunteer hours, aerial sweeps, and interviews with 17 local residents, no trace of Marcus Reed was ever found. The case remains open, classified as missing person, suspicious circumstances. The disappearance of Marcus Reed became a subject of quiet obsession in the trucking world. While national outlets gave the story little airtime, CB forums lit up for months. Drivers began referring to mile marker 326 as the curtain, a supposed entry point into something unknown. Marcus's sister, Helena Reed, started a website, 326watch.org, where she publishes submissions from other truckers who've experienced strange events in the region. One anonymous entry reads, "Saw brake lights floating in the dark. No rig, just lights drifting sideways. My dog wouldn't stop whining till I passed 327. In 2022, a retired state trooper came forward anonymously, stating that between 2008 to 2019, at least 4 other disappearances occurred within a 5-mile stretch of the same highway, none formally linked due to jurisdictional gaps between county and tribal law enforcement. In late 2023, a YouTube channel focused on unexplained highway cases received an email with a single attachment, a blurry image reportedly pulled from a traffic cam near mile marker 326 at 4:10 a.m. on February 19th. The photo shows Marcus's truck with its headlights on, but in the far left of the frame is a silhouette, a human form, but stretched unnaturally tall and thin, its outline glitching across frames. The photo has never been authenticated. Despite this, New Mexico DOT quietly removed mile marker 326 entirely from signage in early 2024. The official statement claimed safety improvements and regional reindexing. But locals say that's nonsense. "People don't want to talk about 326, said one anonymous rancher. "It's not a mile marker. It's a line. And some people don't come back once they cross it." As of 2025, no trace of Marcus Reed has ever been recovered. His name remains on the missing persons registry, and the truck, now stripped, impounded, and sitting in a yard in Gallup, is sometimes visited by younger drivers who leave tokens, energy drinks, scribbled maps, or sticky notes that read simply, "Keep going. Don't stop for shadows." Daniel "Danny" Lutz was a veteran hauler with 21 years of experience. Based out of Barstow, California, he ran long freight routes through Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. Colleagues described him as a straight shooter, old school, by the book. He kept paper maps in his glove box and always called his dispatcher before and after each stop, even if it was just for fuel. Divorced but on good terms with his ex-wife, Daniel shared custody of his teenage daughter, Emma. His usual schedule had him on the road 4 days a week, delivering general cargo for West Haul Logistics. He favored night driving and often took isolated desert routes, calling the open highways his peace and paycheck. On March 2nd, 2022, Daniel left a distribution center in Salt Lake City with a flatbed load of metal piping bound for Las Vegas. It was supposed to be a routine 425-mile haul. No major detours, no hazardous material, and fair weather forecasted through the region. But sometime after midnight, Daniel's voice would begin echoing across CB frequencies, scared, confused, and desperately trying to describe something he could see that no one else could. March 2nd, 2022, 6:45 p.m., departure from Salt Lake City, Utah. Daniel signed out from the West Hall terminal. The dispatch log shows a scheduled drop-off at a construction site in Las Vegas by 9 a.m. the next morning. 8:17 p.m., fuel stop, Fillmore, Utah. Surveillance footage shows Daniel refueling at the Pilot Travel Center. He purchased coffee and logged a 5-minute call with his daughter, Emma, telling her, "Should be an easy run. I'll see you Thursday, kiddo." 10:42 p.m., last digital toll stamp, Highway 21 junction. License plate recognition cameras clocked Daniel's rig entering the Nevada border near Lund. Speed and lane usage appeared normal. His GPS tracker showed expected pacing and route fidelity. 11:36 p.m., first CB activity logged, Channel 19. Two drivers, Carlos Jimenez, CB handlebone saw, and Marcy Trent, June bug, reported hearing Daniel on Channel 19. He said he kept seeing flashes in his mirrors, like headlights that weren't attached to anything, said Trent. He thought maybe it was someone tailing him without lights. 12:03 a.m., emergency CB transmission, Channel 9. A recording from a nearby rig's dashcam CB captures Daniel transmitting. "Can anyone confirm a black SUV behind me? It's not on GPS, keeps flashing in my mirror, but there's no reflection on the glass." Neither Jimenez nor Trent reported seeing any vehicle. 12:18 a.m., distorted audio captured, Channel 19. A transmission logged by a CB enthusiast scanning southern Nevada channels recorded Daniel's voice. "It's in the mirrors. I covered one, and it moved to the other side. I blink and it's closer." Audio analysts later noted the voice fluctuates unnaturally, as if cut and layered, though it matches Daniel's vocal ID. 1:02 a.m., trailer abandoned. At mile marker 134 on US 95, a passing hauler, Barry Kempler, spotted a flatbed trailer, intact, hitched but alone. The cab was gone, like it had just detached itself and driven off. The trailer belonged to Westhaul Logistics. It was inspected and secured by state troopers at 3:15 a.m. No signs of struggle, tampering, or mechanical failure were found. 2:44 a.m., unscheduled route logged. Daniel's cab veered onto a service road 12 miles west of Goldfield, Nevada, an unmarked gravel path known to locals as Service 6. It does not appear on most digital maps and is not used for commercial transit. GPS data stopped transmitting at 2:47 a.m. March 3 to 6:12 a.m., fire discovered. A local rancher named Alvin Ward spotted smoke while checking cattle lines off Service Road 6. He notified Nye County Fire Services. Responders found a single scorched cab, no trailer, no VIN plate visible. It took 48 minutes to extinguish. Fire Chief Riley Morgan stated, "Most fires this intense involve fuel tanks rupturing, but the tank was intact. The ignition point appears to be inside the cab." Despite complete destruction, investigators recovered a bolted CB unit under the passenger seat, Daniel's voice recorder. March 4th, CB recording recovered. The last 94 seconds of audio were salvaged and digitally enhanced. Forensic linguist Kendra Healy confirmed the speaker as Daniel Lutz. Below is a verified transcript of the final CB audio. 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 4 seconds. "It's behind me again. Every time I cover one mirror, it moves to the other. 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 23 seconds. It's walking. I saw it. Not a vehicle. No eyes. Just closer. 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 41 seconds. I'm not stopping, screw that. I know what I saw. 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 58 seconds. Unintelligible screaming. High-pitched tone rises, then abrupt static. No other vehicles were seen in the area. No bodies, no footprints, no signs of human activity. Wildlife cameras installed along Service 6 showed only dust and darkness. March 6th, physical evidence collected. One melted CB mic fused into the console. A notebook beneath the seat, partially burned. The visible page read, "Do not reflect. Do not blink. Heat warped driver's license. Name and photo intact, Daniel Lutz." Fire analysis showed no accelerants. Electrical faults were ruled unlikely due to preserved fuse box structure. March 9th, dashcam card found 30 yards from cab. Though damaged, fragments of the memory card were reconstructed. The final frame is timestamped 3 hours 11 minutes and 48 seconds, just 16 seconds before the CB audio ended. The image shows Daniel's face, eyes wide, looking into the mirror. The mirror is angled, but doesn't show Daniel. Instead, it reflects a dark humanoid shape walking beside the truck, with arms bent backward. Experts declared the photo not digitally altered. Investigators declined to release it publicly. It remains archived in the Nye County Sheriff's Digital Evidence Vault. March 15th, case designation. Official cause of death, undetermined, likely vehicular fire. Status, missing person, presumed deceased. No criminal suspects. No further leads. The trucking community reacted to Daniel Lutz's case with a mix of shock and quiet paranoia. Though major networks ignored the incident, industry forums exploded with speculation. His CB handle Redjack trended briefly in private dispatcher channels as drivers swapped similar stories of mirror figures and CB echo distortions, mostly near remote highways. Reddit's r/trucker files began archiving reports of strange mirror-related sightings. One user wrote, "Saw a guy covering his mirrors with duct tape outside Reno. Told me, once you see it, it follows reflections." I didn't ask questions. Daniel's ex-wife, Michelle, gave a single interview. He wasn't superstitious, but he once told me, "There are places on the road that don't want you passing through." I didn't know what that meant until now. In 2023, a state trooper anonymously submitted a tip to an independent journalist, revealing that a similar burned cab was discovered in 2015, less than 6 miles from Daniel's site. That case, too, had a destroyed mirror, a melted CB unit, and no driver. Despite calls for further investigation, no new information has emerged. The most chilling detail may be this. 1 month after the fire, a trucker passing through the area captured open CB chatter on Channel 17 at 3:13 a.m. The recording, authenticated by audio experts, plays one line on a loop. "It's in the mirrors. It's always been in the mirrors." No registered CB in the region was broadcasting at the time. As of 2025, the site of the fire remains unmarked and unmemorialized, just a patch of scorched earth off a nameless desert path. But truckers who pass through often turn their mirrors inward or cover them entirely with black cloth. A strange ritual, maybe, or just a warning, because after Daniel Lutz, nobody wants to be the next voice coming through the CB, screaming about something they saw too late in the mirror. Joel Merritt was 42 years old at the time of his disappearance. A dependable long-haul driver with over 15 years of experience, Joel worked for Desert Span Freight out of Tucson, Arizona. He ran recurring routes between Phoenix, El Centro, and Las Vegas. His reputation among dispatchers was impeccable, punctual, consistent, and safety-conscious. He rarely drove past midnight unless the route was short or familiar. Divorced with no children, Joel kept a tight-knit circle of fellow drivers and routinely checked in with his sister, Denise, who lived in Tucson. He drove a 2018 Peterbilt 579 and took pride in keeping it spotless. He also maintained both a digital ELD log and a handwritten journal, claiming tech breaks, but pen and paper don't. On the night of September 18, 2020, Joel accepted a short overnight haul from Gila Bend to a small industrial yard near Yuma. The route was straightforward, west on I-8, south onto Route 85, and then west along Route 86 for 46 miles. Estimated drive time, 2 hours and 12 minutes. He never arrived. September 18, 2020, 9:22 p.m., departure from Gila Bend Freight Yard. Joel checked out with a full load of commercial HVAC units. His paperwork showed standard shipping details and a 6 a.m. drop window in Yuma. Weather conditions were dry with good visibility. 10:47 p.m., fuel stop, Ajo, Arizona. Security footage at a Chevron confirms Joel refueled, purchased a bottled coffee, and briefly spoke to another driver, Greg Salazar. He said the route was too quiet for his liking. No taillights, no headlights, just black road and sand, Salazar later reported. 12:14 a.m., CB radio activity, Channel 19. Truckers using CB Channel 19 near the Coyote Wells Junction reported hearing Joel radio in. Anyone else getting rerouted south? My GPS keeps pulling me left, off 86. No street name. Whatever it was telling him, he sounded pissed, recalled driver Les Darnell. Said he saw a road that didn't match his map. 1:03 a.m., dashcam last confirmed ping. Joel's truck dashcam uploaded a photo burst to DesertSpan's server showing a narrow, sand-covered road intersecting Route 86 near mile marker 109. No signs, no reflectors, no other vehicles. In one of the frames, Joel's headlights reveal tire marks trailing off that road, as if others had turned before him. 3:28 a.m., final CB transmission. GPS is wrong. There's no road here. Static follows for 9 seconds. Then a second voice, tinny and unfamiliar, murmurs what sounds like keep driving. Analysts have not been able to confirm whether the voice was part of the transmission or external interference. 3:34 a.m., signal lost. Joel's GPS ping stopped 2.1 miles south of Route 86. Speed logged at 31 miles per hour. Then nothing. September 19 to 10:17 a.m., delivery missed. Yuma Yard dispatcher calls Joel's phone after he fails to arrive. No response. By noon, DesertSpan flags the route as potentially stalled, and local law enforcement is alerted. September 19 to 3:15 p.m., initial search begins. 2 patrol vehicles from Pima County Sheriff's Department began sweeping Route 86 between mile markers 90 to 120. No truck or debris located. Helicopter assistance requested. September 20 to 7:48 a.m., tire tracks discovered. Search teams found tire tracks veering south from Route 86 onto a wide, dusty plain, matching the description from Joel's dashcam photo. The path was unpaved and undocumented on modern maps. The tracks continued for roughly 1.9 miles before ending abruptly. No turning radius. No brake marks. No evidence of the truck reversing or skidding. Just a straight stop. Found nearby. Joel's clipboard buried halfway in sand. His thermos, half full, resting upright with no sand inside. An HVAC unit torn from its packaging, metal scraped along one side. On the back of the clipboard, written in thick black ink, were 6 words. Not a road. Don't follow. The handwriting matched Joel's according to forensic comparison with his daily journal. September 21st, aerial sweep reveals nothing. Infrared and radar-equipped drones covered a 5-mile radius around the tire trail endpoint. No wreckage, no signs of fire, no drag marks, and no environmental disturbance consistent with a rollover or theft. September 22nd, unusual GPS metadata found. A private consultant hired by DesertSpan analyzed the GPS ping metadata. They discovered one anomaly, a single false coordinate recorded at 3:33 a.m., a point that, when mapped, fell over a blank zone. No physical terrain matched the coordinate. Satellite imaging of the exact location shows nothing but static distortion. It's like the location didn't exist, said systems analyst Troy Henderson. Even our high-res overlays showed blank pixels. Not black, just data void. September 23rd, civilian report filed. A tourist couple reported seeing a massive red truck about 3 miles south of Route 86 that morning. Looked stuck, no one inside, just sitting in the sun. When responders returned with the couple later that day, they could not relocate the truck. No tracks, no sign of vehicle disturbance, and the couple could not recall precisely where they had seen it. September 24th, dashcam footage released. Joel's last dashcam burst was reviewed by family. In frame number 5, a shape appears in the reflection of the driver's mirror. Investigators initially believed it was the mirror frame, but photo enhancements revealed what looked like a person standing just behind the trailer, blurred, tall, wearing what appeared to be all white. There's no person in the forward camera, but the mirror reflection shows someone standing still, not moving at all, reported photo tech Nadine Ellis. October 2nd, case suspended. After a 10-day multi-agency investigation involving drones, bloodhounds, and desert patrols, the case was formally suspended. Official designation, missing person, presumed lost in remote terrain. No foul play suspected. No truck recovered. No credit card or phone activity traced. Joel Merritt's disappearance became a quiet obsession among Arizona's long-haul truckers. Many began referring to Route 86 as Exitless Mile. Others claimed CB radios along that stretch often picked up static patterns between mile 100 to 110, especially near 3 a.m. In early 2021, a Reddit user posted a screenshot from Google Earth showing a dirt road intersecting Route 86. barely visible, about 30 miles east of the known site. When others tried to view it, the location had been blurred. Google later stated the area was censored due to government request and mapping error overlap. Joel's sister Denise started a blog called Where's Route 86, collecting stories from drivers who reported unexplained GPS rerouting, CB interference, and sightings of unmapped roads in southern Arizona. One submission, posted anonymously, read, "My TomTom tried to send me south off Route 86 at 3:15 a.m. There was no road, just a gate with no fence and a tire half buried in the dirt. I turned around, but something was watching from the brush. I could feel it." In 2023, a West Hall employee doing archive cleanup stumbled across a mislabeled dashcam clip from a different driver, recorded 2 weeks after Joel vanished. In it, a bright red Peterbilt identical to Joel's passes on a side road with no visible driver in the seat. The footage was time-stamped near the same coordinate zone where Joel vanished. The clip has never been authenticated. It remains offline, passed around discreetly among drivers as a warning. "Never follow a road that's not on the map," said one hauler in a documentary short on the case. "Especially not off Route 86. As of 2025, Joel Merritt has not been found. His truck was never recovered. His name remains etched into a rusted highway sign memorial at mile marker 109, spray-painted by an unknown trucker with 6 words. Not a road. Don't follow." On October 14, 2021, veteran trucker Dale Hart radioed from I-40 westbound near Holbrook, Arizona, with an urgent message. "White van. No plates. Been tailing me since Winslow. No lights." That was the last anyone heard from him. 35 minutes later, his rig was found abandoned along an isolated stretch of desert highway. Engine off. Driver's door ajar. CB mic dangling. No signs of struggle. No sign of Dale, and no trace of the van. Dale Hart, 58, was a seasoned long-haul trucker with over 3 decades on the road. A father of 2 and husband of 34 years, Dale was known among his peers as Old Owl for his habit of driving overnight hauls with the precision of a clock. His dispatcher at Timberline Freight, Karen Ramos, described him as methodical, hyper-aware, a man who double-checked everything. He maintained detailed trip logs, routinely passed inspections, and never missed a scheduled check-in. On October 13th, Dale was assigned a routine haul from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Bakersfield, California. His cargo consisted of irrigation tubing, non-sensitive freight, with a 72-hour delivery window. The drive followed I-40 west through Gallup, Holbrook, and Kingman, a familiar stretch Dale had driven dozens of times. The night was clear, windless, temperatures in the high 40s. It was supposed to be another uneventful night drive. October 13th, 2021, 7:22 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Dale departs Albuquerque, confirmed by dash GPS logs. He sends a short text to his wife Annette, rolling west. Call from Kingman. Truck's ELD, electronic logging device, shows an uneventful pace through Grants and Gallup. 11:06 p.m. Gallup, New Mexico. Dale refuels at a Pilot Travel Center. Surveillance footage shows him entering the store, purchasing coffee and jerky. Clerk Santiago Ruiz recalls him appearing calm, but checking over his shoulder more than once. October 14 to 12:41 a.m., just outside Winslow, Arizona. CB chatter recorded by fellow driver Bayonet, real name, Travis Weller, included Dale reporting unusual behavior. "There's a white van riding real low, no plate I can see. Been shadowing my lane past Joseph City. Won't pass. Just pacing me." Bayonet responded, advising him to pull off at the next lit stop. Dale said he planned to stop near Holbrook for a rest. 1:23 a.m., 11 miles east of Holbrook. Dale makes a brief stop at the I-40 rest area. Logs show the vehicle remained stationary for 6 minutes. No camera footage exists, but motion sensors registered opening of the driver door. It's unknown if Dale got out. He departs at 1:29 a.m. 1:36 a.m., last CB transmission. Dale's voice comes through static to another driver. "Same van. Still behind me. It's got no damn lights now." Then silence. 2:04 a.m., vehicle discovery. CHP officer Julian Reyes reports spotting Dale's rig parked oddly, not on the shoulder, but angled on a dirt embankment 30 feet off the westbound lane. Engine off. Lights off. Driver's door open. CB mic swinging slightly. Cab empty. No footprints leading away. Initial response, October 14th, 2:25 a.m. CHP and Navajo County Sheriff's deputies began processing the scene. Dale's Kenworth T680 showed no mechanical issues. The trailer seal was unbroken. No damage to the rig. His logbook, wallet, and phone were found inside untouched. The only anomaly, the CB radio was still on, open to channel 19, emitting low static. Search of surrounding area, 3 to 8 a.m. AK, 9 units swept to 200-yard perimeter. No scent trail. No drag marks. No tire impressions consistent with another vehicle nearby. Aerial thermal drones were launched at dawn, again no trace. Not even shoe prints in the loose desert gravel. Dash cam and GPS data. Footage from Dale's front-facing dash cam was intact up until 1:42 a.m. At that point, the camera feed cuts to black for 34 seconds, then resumes. In the final few seconds of the video, headlights from another vehicle are briefly visible in Dale's mirror, but the image is blurred. Frame-by-frame analysis showed a white van without identifying markings. No plates. Forensics were unable to pull any clear ID. Infrared enhancement suggested the vehicle had multiple small antennae mounted to the roof, but this could not be verified. Witness accounts, October 15th to 17th. Two separate drivers came forward after hearing the CB chatter, replayed by investigators. One, Ella Jensen, Big Country, hauling eastbound that night, claimed, "I passed a white van around 1:15 a.m., no lights, no back windows. Gave me the chills. Figured it was some off-grid loner. She was too far to see the driver." 2, Enrique Morales, driving westbound around 1:40 a.m., said, "Saw a semi pulled weird off the road, thought it broke down. But there was a white van a few hundred feet back. No hazard lights. Just sitting there. When I passed, it flashed its brights once. Then nothing." Morales did not stop. Vehicle canvassing and security footage. CHP distributed a bolo for the white van across Arizona, New Mexico, and Southern California. Despite dozens of potential leads, none matched the description. No traffic cams picked up a van matching the make or behavior. The nearest security feed at a way station 15 miles west captured nothing unusual between 1 o'clock and 2:30 a.m. Crucial evidence, the audio distortion. Audio forensics were conducted on Dale's final CB transmission. A brief spectrogram analysis revealed an unexplained high-frequency distortion 2.3 seconds after he said, "It's got no damn lights now." The sound doesn't match typical interference or radio squelch patterns. It resembles a modulated burst, something usually found in encrypted transmissions. Experts from a private telecom analysis firm said it could be caused by a nearby military-grade radio pulse, or an intentionally masked transmission. Both are highly unlikely along that stretch unless deliberate. There are no military installations within 100 miles. October 28th, twisted metal fragment found. 2 hikers in Apache Sitgreaves National Forest reported finding a twisted panel of white metal, 12 inches by 8 inches, with a burned edge and no serial markings. It was lodged in a rock formation 3.2 miles from where Dale's truck was discovered. Lab testing showed traces of primer gray under the white, consistent with commercial vehicle paint, but too warped to confirm origin. FBI did not comment on whether the fragment was connected to the case. The disappearance of Dale Hart remains unsolved. The white van, presumed to be connected, has never been identified. Dale's family held a memorial service in December 2021 after no new evidence surfaced for 60 days. His rig was returned to Timberline Freight, and the trailer, still fully loaded, was delivered by another driver 3 weeks later. Among truckers, the case has become a cautionary tale. Holbrook rest stops now display unofficial signage. If they don't have plates, don't stop. Keep moving. A Reddit thread in a trucking forum went viral in 2022 when a user posted dash footage of a similar van near Flagstaff. No plates, no lights, trailing them for 30 minutes. The post was deleted hours later. User account deactivated. Several truckers claim the footage was doctored. Others say they've seen the same van on rural stretches, always at night, always falling back if noticed. In late 2023, a CB operator in California caught a brief repeating signal on Channel 19 during a lightning storm. It lasted 11 seconds and looped twice. White van, no lights, no lights. The voice is believed to be Dale's. Alan Brewer was a veteran trucker with 27 years on the road and a spotless driving record. Based out of Reno, Nevada, he lived a modest life with his wife, Carla, and their German shepherd, Lucky. Friends described Alan as old school, a man who triple-checked his tires, stuck to his logs, and trusted paper maps more than GPS. He'd hauled every major western route, but the Sierra Nevada run was his favorite. He used to say the air felt cleaner up there, Carla told the Reno Gazette. On February 2, 2019, Alan was dispatched on a high-priority delivery from Sacramento, California to Sparks, Nevada, a 140-mile haul across the I-80 corridor. His trailer contained 5,300 pounds of network server equipment, scheduled for 8 a.m. warehouse offload. His route passed through Donner Pass, a known whiteout zone in the winter, but conditions that week had been unusually calm. No snowstorms. No closures. He was expected to arrive by dawn. February 2 to 9:16 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Alan checks in at the Sierra Freight Sacramento Depot. Warehouse logs confirm load of Cisco server racks, serial tagged, loaded and sealed. Alan texts Carla at 9:34 p.m. Loaded up. Should be at Sparks before 7. 10:05 p.m. Alan departs depot. Traffic cameras capture the rig entering I-80 East at Wood Avenue on-ramp. No issues reported. 12:48 a.m. Colfax Rest Area, CA. Alan stops for fuel and restroom break. Transaction receipt timestamp 12:51 a.m. Truck driver Dimebag, real name, Brian Stokes, recalls Alan looking tense. He was staring at the tree line, didn't even say hi. Just looked off. 2:22 a.m. Donner Lake Overlook. CHP Trooper Melinda Kwan observes Alan's truck climbing I-80 East, staying within speed limit. Dashcam footage from her cruiser captures the truck passing without incident. 3:17 a.m. Final phone call. Alan calls Carla from his Bluetooth headset. According to the phone record and Carla's testimony, the conversation lasted just under 2 minutes. He said the CB was acting weird, picking up cross-channel chatter. Something about don't stop before the switchback. Carla thought he was joking. Alan often teased about weirdos on the mountain. 3:48 a.m. CB radio interference reported. Multiple truckers report static and overlapping radio noise near Cisco Grove. Driver Salt, real name, George Levy, described a burst of broken speech and metallic screeching. Investigators later traced the interference to a 12-mile corridor along the Donner Summit. 4:58 a.m. Final transmission. Something's on the road, not a vehicle, it's moving. Picked up by a CB enthusiast scanning emergency channels from Truckee. Audio abruptly cuts off mid-sentence. Time-stamped and verified. 6:41 a.m. Vehicle located. A snowplow operator reports a semi parked at the Donner Summit rest area, angled across 2 spaces. CHP responds. Engine is cold. No signs of collision or malfunction. Driver missing. Immediate scene analysis. February 3rd, 7:02 a.m. CHP units secured the rest area. Alan's Kenworth T660 was found locked, with the keys still in the ignition. The CB mic was on the floor, cord coiled like it had been yanked. Inside the cab, untouched coffee, half-eaten granola bar, wallet, logbook, and a torn-out page with hand-scribbled numbers. 192 to 6-4, circled twice. No explanation. Blood was found on the left mirror, smeared across the housing, but it tested negative for Alan's DNA. No human match identified. Trailer inspection. The trailer was sealed and unbroken. Inside, 6 racks of server units, unshifted. But at the rear corner, stuck behind the final pallet, was a canvas duffel bag not listed on the manifest. It contained a broken camera lens, an old 2-way radio, and a moldy leather notebook. Initials TK were etched into the inside cover. The notebook was filled with erratic, disjointed entries. It watches from the tree line. Don't leave the engine running. Only crosses east to west. Never the other way. February 3rd, it hunts when there's no snow. The bag was turned over to federal investigators. Surrounding area search. Over 50 volunteers, K-9 units, and helicopters combed a 5-mile radius. Conditions were dry, visibility clear. Not a single footprint or trail was located. Search dogs lost the scent 80 feet from the cab. A drone picked up faint heat signatures down a slope toward Rainbow Road, but nothing solid could be confirmed. Radio log review and distorted signal. CB enthusiasts compiled an archive of the Donner Corridor's transmissions from that night. Around 4:50 a.m., one anomalous clip appeared, a low, garbled phrase repeated 3 times before silence. You're not supposed to see it. The frequency carried a harmonic distortion only found in high-voltage radio bursts. No known source in that region could explain it. Notebook traced to previous case. The initials TK were matched to Thomas Kilgore, a trucker who vanished on the same route in 1997 under nearly identical circumstances. His trailer was recovered, empty, near Emigrant Gap. Kilgore's case had long been considered cold. His duffel bag was never recovered until now. Security footage, February 2nd, 11:42 p.m. A review of cameras from Nyack Shell Station. A stop Allen passed but didn't enter. Shows his truck slowing slightly as a figure moves just off the shoulder. The image is grainy. No face. No vehicle nearby. Frame-by-frame analysis shows the figure standing upright, motionless, until the truck passes. Estimated height, over 6 feet 8 inches. No plausible suspects. No evidence of foul play. No ransom demands. Allen had no enemies, no debts, and no history of mental illness or delusions. CHP Lieutenant Wes Harrow stated in the February 6th press briefing, "We have a missing person. We have a sealed trailer. No sign of forced entry or struggle. What we don't have is any explanation." Alan Brewer was declared legally missing on August 3, 2019. His wife refused to hold a funeral, saying she still feels the air shift when his rig used to pull in. Sierra Freight retired his call sign from the dispatch system. His truck was eventually returned to the leasing company and resold. In the months that followed, 2 more truckers reported losing CB signal between Soda Springs and Donner Pass. Both said their radios emitted a screech, described as not metal, not animal. Neither incident resulted in injury or disappearance. The duffel bag remains in evidence custody. The notebook, now fully transcribed, was analyzed by handwriting experts who confirmed it was Kilgore's. The final legible page reads, "Don't stop at the summit. Don't talk if it talks back." A year later, in February 2020, a new driver for Sierra Freight, a 28-year-old named Ron Merrick, claimed his CB suddenly lit up while parked near the same rest area. The voice on the other end was low and static choked. "Route clear, but don't watch it walk." Merrick left the trucking industry 2 weeks later. No new evidence has emerged. The notebook, the smeared blood, the camera lens, all remain unexplained. The only thing left from Alan Brewer was a final, cut-off transmission from a cold mountain pass. It's moving, and then nothing.